The March for Life is just around the corner. 2 years after the overturning of Roe v. Wade, the fight for the preborn is far from over. This year is the end of an era for the annual event, as the current president, Jeannie Mancini, will be stepping down. She will be passing the baton to Jennie Lichter. EWTN News Montse Alvarado sat down with both of them to discuss the future of the march and the pro-life movement.
Jennie and Jeannie, having both of you here is such a joy to see this transition from a great legacy coming out of the March for Life into this new era, post-Roe era, to really dive into where the culture is going and how life needs to be defended. I want to ask you both about this theme, life, why we march. Let's start with you, Jeannie. What does this theme mean to you?
Yeah. So every year when we're choosing a theme, we really try to speak into what's happening in the culture, because of course the March for Life is where all of the different pro-life groups come together, and really choosing a theme gives us a springboard to impact whatever's happening. Like, what are the most pressing needs? And perhaps not surprisingly, I mean, people are discouraged right now. That's our sense, at least, that we've had this massive victory of the overturn of Roe, but we've lost at the state in a number of these ballot initiatives. We've seen elected officials separate themselves from this issue. And people are wondering even about the abortion numbers. In some states it's up, in some states down. So there are a lot of questions. We want to encourage marchers. We want to remind them that they're on the right side of history. One of the best ways to do that is to return to the basics, kind of pro-life 101. Why are we pro-life? And then also, why are you pro-life? People's stories are so powerful, and for over 10 years at the March, we've had this hashtag for all of our social media endeavors, which is why we march. And that is really an invitation for marchers to tell their story. And every story is unique, and those stories are beautiful. And so that's really the hope with the theme.
It's a beautiful personal witness. Well, Jennie, walking into this for you, what does that resonate with you, that theme? Would you have chosen the same?
Yes, absolutely. I think Jeannie explained the theme wonderfully and why the organization chose it. For me personally, it's a really meaningful theme for my first March for Life at the organization, because I have been a marcher since 2001. I've attended many marches for life in the past number of years. So I have a story about why I march, and why I marched as a college student and a young professional, with my husband when we were newlyweds, with my children more recently. And I'm excited to keep telling that story and to hear the stories from every marcher, because as Jeannie said, every marcher has a story just like mine.
Your hope in this theme is to renew energy and drive. And that, as you mentioned, is important now when you're seeing such a divided landscape and so many fronts that you have to fight on. How does that kind of create a roadmap for what you want to do next?
Well, in 2019, we began the State March Initiative, and little did we know that so many things would get lined up in place that ultimately Roe would be overturned just a few short years later. And so that State March Initiative has been all the more important. This year alone, we're in 17 states, and we plan to be in all 50 states, certainly under Jennie's tenure is my guess, soon. And so that is all the more important as we rally people at the states. We need to continue rallying at the national level, both because we want to pass good legislation at the federal level, but also because the march is about more than just passing legislation. It's been famously said that culture is upstream of politics, and we want to change culture. We want to march until abortion is unthinkable.
Now, Jennie, you're walking into this post-Roe reality where the rise of abortion pills, especially at the state level too, seeing abortion pills being sent from one state to another, is just where the fight is going. How do you see that being something that you have to counter or address as the new head of the march?
I think it's really important for the pro-life movement and for the March for Life to keep reminding people that the abortion pill is so dangerous for women, and especially the way in which it's being distributed more and more often as regulatory parameters are being removed. Women are able to access the abortion pill without medical care and take it themselves at home. And that is so risky, and sometimes has tragic results, as we've seen in the news even just recently. And I think, too, it's really important for the pro-life movement and for our organization to keep making sure that women know what to do if they have started taking the abortion pill regime and they regret it and they want to turn it around and to save their baby, because that sometimes is possible to do if you do it in a timely way. And some states are starting to push back against that and trying to outlaw making the abortion pill reversal regime available. And that is such a tragedy and also really dangerous for women. So I think that's something we're going to be talking about too.
It's important to think about these stories and why women get abortions. And it's something that the March for Life has done very well under Jeannie's leadership, telling us about these women, the circumstances, and what we can do to help, what the pro-life movement really exists to do. I recently had a woman tell me about the silent surprise baby abortions. Moms, maybe of 2 or 3 children, who get pregnant a couple of years down the line, maybe when their kids are in high school or middle school, and decide, this is just bad for my family, and they make the tragic decision of ending their baby's life. Research states that between a fourth and a fifth of American women who are already moms get abortions, and that number is only going up. What is going on here?
Yeah, this is horrific, and it's so sad to hear. So I think at its heart is a misunderstanding about sort of our plans for life and our control sort of over our life, and a sad sort of reflection upon, if things are just, a certain way and tidy, that my life will go a certain way. And I think perhaps one of the ways to counter this is some of the beautiful stories that we hear. I mean, even in my own family, my little brother was a surprise, and he's just like all of the kids in our family. I mean, just so special. And now as a father of 3 himself. But there are so many wonderful stories of people being surprised, facing, as we say, an unexpected pregnancy. And I think what's most important is just to recognize that, choosing abortion, it's not like taking an eraser to something and just erasing it and making it not there, temporarily. It's actually taking a life and ultimately impacting the life of the mom as well. And so we'll do our part to get the word out there about this sad trajectory.
Is there something that you want to add about the way that the pro-abortion movement kind of limits your ability to think about what could be rather than just what is?
Yeah, I think one of the most tragic things about pro-abortion rhetoric is the messaging to young women that motherhood holds you back, and that it's at odds with personal and professional flourishing and fulfillment. And that, maybe having 2 or 3 kids is okay, but if you have any more, then your life is going to fall apart. And I hope that my own experience as a mom, as I step into this more visible role, can be a lived counterexample to that, a counter witness. I have 3 kids, 10 and under, and they are a part of my flourishing and fulfillment. They're certainly not at odds with it whatsoever.
Do you think that that's part of the beauty of the march, that it's always had a female leader, always had someone who was, you think of Nellie Gray's example, someone who's a trailblazer for other women in considering what needs to exist and how to take care of the whole person. For you, as someone who's in policy, internationally recognized speaker, a renowned attorney, both for government and for the church, are your witnesses, your stories, an important part of the march as well?
Sure. The real hero at the March for Life are the marchers. That's the real hero of the March for Life. But let's face it, that the other side, what we're fighting is essentially a lie that the right to abortion is good for women, or that abortion is good for women. And people like Jennie and me and you, Montse, our lives are paradigmatically showing that's not the case. That isn't the case. That I thought Jennie just articulated it so beautifully, that to be a mother, to have the capacity for motherhood, however you're living that out, is an invitation to the full human flourishing, and that abortion really is just the antithesis of empowering for women.
Now, Jennie brings something very different in terms of skill set and background to the March for Life. What is your hope for her, knowing that this is a difficult task, a spiritually challenging task, and one where you are countercultural just by saying yes to the call.
Yeah. Cardinal Dolan one time said to me so beautifully, it meant so much to me, that Nellie was what was needed at that time for culture as well, and also just for running the March for Life. And that in the present moment, when I was having the conversation with him, I was what, my personality, sort of how I messaged, etc., was really what was needed. And, there is this beautiful saying, the Holy Spirit gives to the church what she needs for a particular time period. And the March for Life being a pro-life organization, I think Jennie is just that, the particular phenomenal skill set that she has, her brilliance, her motherhood, so many wonderful things about her, I think, are really what the organization needs now.
When you think about the future of the March and what you're inheriting, is there something that makes you nervous or excited?
Oh gosh, I'm so excited. I mean, I've been coming to the March for Life for so many years, and it's so special to me. And I have admired first Nellie Gray when I first started attending the March, and then Jeannie for so many years, have just watched her and admired her leadership of the March at the event itself and in the media and all the ways in which she has led in the pro-life movement. So I am honestly just floored that this call came to me, and I'm so grateful to Jeannie for trusting me and asking me to consider this, and to the Lord for opening my heart to saying yes to it. And I just am so excited and humbled by this opportunity. I really can't wait to get started.
It's great to chat with both of you.
Thanks for having us.
Thank you.
The March for Life steps off January 24th. EWTN will provide team coverage of this annual event starting at 8 a.m.